Riverman here, and today we are going to change the steering wheel on this here San Francisco Rush 2049 cabinet, as well as also the center cap and the belt behind. We're at least going to check the belt. I haven't seen what it looks like yet. So for those who don't know, I've made some kind of poor choices with my life lately. After I made that kind of overly enthusiastic fangirl video about the Ridge Racer arcade one-up cabinet and how I was definitely going to pre-order. Well, my wife got talking to me and she reminded me that that was not what I wanted, and it was too expensive for something that wasn't really going to make me happy. So all we did was spend 2.5 times as much, and we definitely got something real here. Not just real, but exactly the machine that I wanted. Rush 2049 that's already had the special edition upgrade done to it. So yeah, for the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks I've been just playing this thing to death and waiting for my brand new steering wheel from Suzo happ. So let's get up a little bit closer here and talk about what we're going to be doing. Okay, now that we're close up at the machine here, I've got this San Francisco Rush manual here. I'm sure I'm displaying the appropriate picture up on the front. Looks like we've got 6 security torque screws, 1, 2, and 3 in front, and 1, 2, 3 in the bottom, and then this whole unit should just come out. So we have our security Torx bit in our handy little AA powered screwdriver, and I got the wheel right here. Let's actually go and get the rest of the parts out. Oh, these, by the way, are my special Rush 2049 driving shoes, driving moccasins. It's weird doing it barefoot, and sure I could wear normal shoes like a normal person would, but a normal person also would not buy a 600+ pound Atari. Excuse me, cat. I gotta go and get into the coin bin. The coin bin has the other 2 parts. It's actually got this center cap, which is brand new, and this belt, which is brand new, and again, don't know if I'm going to install the belt or not. And I guess I don't need the rest of these security bits. I also have some bulbs in here because I actually had to change this bulb, which is probably out of the shop, and also my View 3 bulb, which is a different type of bulb inside a tiny button. Also, if you don't have one of those handy screwdrivers, one of these offset security Torx things, these are about $8 on eBay if you hunt around, and if you don't, they're about $20 on eBay. So let's just pop that all back in there because we've got what we need, these 2 parts. And I guess let's just have at it and see if we can get this whole thing out with the old steering wheel still in place. There we go. That would have taken forever without this tool. But you know, it occurs to me that I should probably do the bottom 3 first. Or else this entire thing is going to come down how I don't. Oh, good. These are only ½ an inch long. That's great. I didn't actually buy new screws for the center cap, so we're going to have to recycle those. Oop. I don't know about you guys, but I always think it's neat to see how these arcade machines are put together. There we go. And I actually have some video of inside the back of this thing. But what I don't have is video of changing out these 2 lights. I may have to reenact that. Because while I was in here, I also did a little mod where I moved the control board from the monitor through a little hole out to the front so I could adjust it myself. It was either that or try and explain for the millionth time to the wife what trapezoid is. I'm going to leave you in there, and I'm going to loosen this one. That's what smart Reaper Man would do. Okay, let's brace my knees underneath this. Thank you for that feeling. It's all going to come dropping out into my lap. Now, I've never been in this thing either, so this is going to be an educational video for us all. But I have this feeling that I am about to learn quick. Oh, actually, oh, it's hinged. Oh, good. Excuse me, cat. Oh good, and the steering wheel can just rest on the seat. Okay, and let's actually look at the belt. Holy cow, the belt is great. Okay, so here's the big old force feedback motor. Here's the 50K pot. Those are shockingly expensive because I wanted to pick up a spare. And here's the sprocket. Now, force feedback in one of these here Rush 2049 cabinets, the Atari Midway force feedback, is going to feel a little alien to anybody who's used to, say, the Logitech force feedback, which I've become used to. It works, it just works a little differently. There's actually the gift of 2 bolts from something or other inside here, maybe the monitor chassis, but they didn't actually shift around too much in travel. Alright, let's get this thing back into place. Oh my cat, you have decided that you're going to play with my screws. No. Okay, and now we are done with the re-screwing. So first off, looking at the wheel here, the reason I'm replacing it is when it came here, it was completely stinky, it was sticky, the texture was worn off of the top entirely, and there's a little tear starting to form. Now, I know you can take the rubber covering off of these and just rip it off. You can boil them and rip it off, and there's actually a plastic hoop behind them. You can also buy several types of wheel. There's the rubber one for the 2049, and some of the current Raw Thrills machines use them. There's also a plastic hoop that some of the cruising games use. Then there's this other one that's used by a Sega game that's clearly compatible, but it says it's got some kind of super patented different way of gripping. I don't know what that is. I may try that one next time. But honestly, this one will probably last me a good long time. So the first thing I got to do is I got to switch down to another smaller security Torx here. And then this screw. By the way, again, I know I've said it before, but this thing is a lifesaver, and the reason for that is it's AA powered. You never have to wait for it to charge. You can leave it with those batteries in it for like 10 years or so before they start to turn white on you, and it's pretty durable about everything coming out fine if you do leave the batteries in too long, because I have. So learning from my lesson last time, I am going to keep the screws up on top of the dashboard. And I certainly hope I don't regret that. These are 8/32 by 1/2 inch. I know because I've been looking for replacements for these like a madman, and I can't find any in black and tamper-proof Torx. So right now we're taking off the wheel cover here. So there are a bunch of screws here. And then underneath here are going to be the 3 screws that actually hold it on. They're going to be in the center. So when I said this thing could use 3 different types of wheels, the number is actually much, much higher than that. However, it can use 3 types of wheels that look roughly like this wheel. So there's about 10 types of wheels it can use. Because holy cow, does this thing like to stick down. Let's just pry on it with our expensive bits. Alright, so these, confusingly, appear to be giant hex. Okay, and a quick cut later, and I am back with my Allen keys. These are going to be, everything's been SAE so far, and these are 3/16. There are 3 of them in here. You will have to break them loose with probably a pliers. I think I'm about to find that there's some form of Loctite on them, which, you know, that makes sense if you wanted to make sure you never had to have this, wheel come loose on you. So we're just going to take these 3 out, and then the wheel should just come right off. Nope, no Loctite, just some rust on the end. So yeah, that's that. I mean, I really had to torque down on them too, so they're just a little rusted in there. Now this cabinet was made in 2001. The game came out in 1999, but mine has got a 2001 date stamped on the back. Now everybody who says go and emulate your arcade games, sure, but a lot of the times the reasoning for that is the maintenance, but the maintenance is actually kind of all part of it. And usually when the MU bros talk about maintenance, what they're talking about is the monitor. And the monitor actually needs very little maintenance if it hasn't been overused. And if it has been, then there's really no maintenance to do. You just need another monitor. So pop that on the ground. We will grab the new wheel here. Put that up there. And we will start these down. Now everything we've done today has been threaded machine screws, as in threaded into inserts, and that's including the inserts inside this here wheel itself. However, this cabinet does have a lot that is just kind of like plastic to plastic with no threaded insert, like all of these. And for those, you really have to be careful, and I recommend slowly backing the screw up until you feel it drop in, and then actually really torquing it down. So don't actually, well, I mean not really torquing it down, actually just tighten it somewhat, but don't start it down the hole until you feel it drop in, and do it right when you feel it drop in. And that's how you can guarantee that you can get those threads when you're doing plastic to plastic. Also, when you're doing plastic to plastic, it's extra important to make sure you do your cross tightening patterns. Whoops. It's actually a trick I picked up on aircraft maintenance. Because in aircraft maintenance, not only do you do a cross pattern, but you actually have this stack of cards that tells you what damn order to start your cross pattern in. So that is my Reaper Man war story for the day here, I guess. Because if you actually go around in that pattern, by the time you get back up to this screw, if you went down all the way, you will find that it's a little bit loose and you'll be chasing your tail around and around and around. But if you do a cross pattern, it does that a lot less. There we go. That one's snugged. That one's snugged. That one's snugged. And we're actually going to torque these down pretty good. We're going to go in here in a long mode. Try and get an extra quarter to half turn on them. Okay, now it is time for the easy one. This new Atari games, this is that vacuum metallized plastic. So that's what was wrong with the other one, is it was demetallicizing. So we'll line that thing up. Grab this thing. Yeah, now that looks new. And this is the most important surface in the game. This is what your hands rest on here, so it is important this be in tip-top shape. I was debating between using the plastic hoop and getting another rubber one, but I figure a rubber one ought to last me just about forever. I've only got 2,000 miles on this game, actually a little under 2,000 miles. Turns out that at 50 cents a game, my break-even point on this thing is 36,000 miles, so I've really got to get going. I'm not even a tenth of the way there yet.